Hello. In this lesson, we're going to learn how to use key press listeners to move our character around on the screen. Before we start learning the actual lines of code, we're going to discuss how the coordinate system works. In AppLab, like most programming environments, the upper left-hand corner of the screen is 0, 0. 0 on the X, 0 on the Y. As we move to the right, the X value increases, and as we move down, the Y value increases. The screen in AppLab is 320 pixels wide and 450 pixels high. So when we go down to the bottom right corner, the coordinates are 320, 450. Now when we move an image to a location, we are moving the upper right-hand corner to whatever the specified coordinates are. So if we told the computer to place the orc at 0, 0, it would place the orc right there, its upper left-hand corner at 0, 0. Notice it's the upper left-hand corner of the bounding box of the image, not of the orc itself. Now, if we told the computer to place the knight at 320, 450, it would place the knight right down there. Now, in this case, the knight is off the screen, and that's okay. However, the user is only going to be able to see things that are on this screen here. Next, we are going to write some code to listen to the key presses and then move the location of our knight character. So we are going to go to Code, we are going to go to UI Controls, and we're going to drag on Event here. If you prefer, you can just type it in. The ID is the ID of the object that is listening for the event. In this case, we want to put the ID of the screen that we are going to be on, in this case screen_game. The event we want to listen for is key down. So that means the computer is going to be listening for any time any key is in the down position. This is a function, this is called an anonymous function because it doesn't have a name. It is only called when the particular on event is activated. So let's get some information that we need about our character before we actually start moving it around in response to the key presses. First, we need to get his X location. So I'm going to create a local variable. This is called a local variable because we're declaring it with the var command inside a function. As a local variable, it will only be valid inside the function where it was created. I'm going to name the variable knight X because it's going to hold the value of the knight's X location. I'm going to say equals get X position. You can see it's helping me fill it in, so I'm just going to select that. Now I need to give it an argument. The argument is going to be the ID of this graphic. The ID is image_knight. I need to have that inside quotation marks since it's a string. Next, I'm going to put a semicolon to end the line. I'm going to make a knight Y. It's going to be almost the same thing, except instead of the function get X position, it's going to be get Y position. It will also need an argument, so this one will be image_knight again because it is getting the Y position of the knight graphic. Next, I'm going to add another local variable, distance. I'm going to set it equal to 15, and this is going to be how many pixels the character moves with each key press. I'm going to go down and I'm going to make some if statements that check which key was pressed. This will activate anytime any key is down, but we want to look at which one was pressed. So we're going to say if event.key double equals. In JavaScript, double equals or triple equals checks to see if two values are equal. Single equals sets a variable on the left equal to whatever data is on the right. So we're going to say equals the string up with a capital U. And if the key being pressed is the up arrow key, event.key is going to equal up. We're going to create a set of curly brackets. This means if this Boolean expression evaluates to true, all of the code inside this curly brackets are going to be executed, otherwise it's going to be skipped. I'm going to change the value of the knight Y variable. So I'm going to say knight Y equals knight Y minus distance. We want to decrease the value of knight Y because as the character moves up, the Y value decreases. Now this isn't going to directly change the image's location. We're going to send the updated values back to the image property later. We're going to do another one for the down button. So we're going to say event dot key double equals down. Then we're going to do another set of curly brackets, and we are going to just go in the opposite direction. We're going to say night y equals night y plus distance, because we want it moving down. We want the y value to be increasing. Then we're going to do it for left, if event dot key double equals left. In this case, we're going to be changing the x variable because the character moves left and right on the x-axis. Night x equals night x minus distance. And then finally, we're going to say if event.key double equals right. I'm running out of room here a little bit, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to press the F11 key. That toggles me into full screen mode in the browser. Night x equals night x plus distance. Now the nice thing about having a variable distance is instead of hard coding 15 in each of these places, if I want to make the character move more or less pixels, I just change the value here and it will update in these 4 if statements. Now what we want to do is we want to take the updated value of either night x or night y, modify the property of this image object so that it goes to its new location. So we're going to use a new function called set position. We open our parentheses. Now it gives us a list of 5 different arguments we should send. In this case, there's a version of the function where we only have to use 3. We're only going to use the first 3 because we don't want to change the width and the height. So the ID is image underscore night. Then we have a comma to separate the first argument to the second argument. The new updated value of x we want to send it is night x, whatever that is. Then a comma, and then the third argument is going to be the updated value of the y. So we're going to say night y. End it with a semicolon, and let's run it and see what happens. So I move the character. I'm moving my arrow keys. I'm going to try changing my distance. So I'm going to make distance to 5 instead of 15. And we'll see when we run it, the character isn't moving as far. You may want to tweak this on your own game depending on the difficulty, how fast the characters are moving, how fast the objects to be collected are moving. If you prefer to do this with blocks, we can show blocks. So you see there's a number of blocks. These are all available in the toolbox. You can match the color of the block to the color of the different type of control. So for example, if I want to declare a variable that's a purple block, I go to purple variables, and then I'll be able to find it. I'm going to scroll down a little bit so you can see the lower part. The one issue we have right now with the character moving around is when he gets to the edge, he goes off the screen. So the object is still there, he's not visible to the user. So I want to make it so the character wraps around, comes back around this side. If he goes up to the top, he comes back around the bottom. So we're going to write a wraparound function next. If you want to see the next video in this curriculum, please click on the video link in the lower left-hand corner of the screen. If you want to see the entire curriculum, please click on the video link in the lower right-hand corner of the screen.